I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
You want to do it in my Blorange Tears, man?
I did it and put it in that cup.
Okay. Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's number one Chief Rock and Knicks University main man, Uncle Freezie. Welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Set it off. I suggest y'all set it up on the left, y'all. Set it off. Set it off. Yeah, y'all. What's good, party people? Let me bring, we're not going to do like a whole bunch of cats up here tonight, man. We're just going to rock a little bit, talk some real basketball. Look who backstage.
Yo.
What's good, boss man?
Yo, I'm chilling. You can hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, man, loud and clear.
What's up to the chat, man?
Peace to the chat.
You call the Jacob Toppin thing.
Bro.
We use our relationships for trash.
Bro. You know what that lets me think, right?
That we keep an Obi?
And DiVincenzo is on the way.
Oh, God. Well, at least Jacob Toppin is a wing.
Yeah, but he's never
trash.
Play.
He's trash, but he's a wing.
Yeah, he'll never play, bro. He'll never. At least he better not ever put a Knicks uniform jersey on. But I understand it. Give Obi Toppin and family that moment. Right, give them their moment, bro. But come on, yo, chat. Think about this. Have y'all seen Jacob Toppin all year at Kentucky? Chat. Think about it. As much as you've seen recruiting boards and all of this stuff, have you seen Jacob Toppin all year? No. What's good with it, Dre?
Nothing good. Nothing's good with it at all.
This
is like our main takeaway is Jacob Toppin, and we're gonna see him in the summer league look trash.
And you know what? Here's my thing. Not on an Exhibit A contract, not on a camp invite contract.
Two-way.
Jacob Toppin is here.
He's arrived.
Oh, chat. Listen, y'all. Chat. I know y'all are smart, right? I'm not trying to outfox y'all, right? That ain't my thing. I'm not trying to outfox you. But he didn't get a John Montero contract. He didn't get a Scala BCA contract. Jacob Toppin is here.
Two-way. No
You
matter
know what
what
this looks
happens,
like, right?
it looks like nepotism.
It looks like Leon Rose's son signed Obi Toppin's brother because he had connections. To
Yeah.
who? To the team that his father's the team president of.
I mean, connections are everywhere. It's kind of, unfortunately, it's a nasty politics driven game at this point. Things aren't about merits and talent all the time, unfortunately.
And here's the part of it. The part of it that may get dismissed a little bit is this: the fact that Knicks fans want the organization to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But how? Right. So now, think about it, if one of our two ways are gone, what does that mean for the cats that were on our two ways?
Oh, I, it's a joke, Freezie.
Miles McBride, man. Miles McBride. It was nice knowing you, bro.
Miles is not on a two-way. He's on a real contract. We
No, he
can.
was. I,
Yeah, he's on
oh,
a real contract. Miles is on a real contract. We
Trevor
have it. We have
Keels.
his
It was
option. Yeah,
Trevor
Trevor
Keels. It was
Keels might
nice
go.
knowing you, bro. Right,
We could only have two, right? We could only have two.
two, and DuPont Jeffries was on one, I think.
Yeah, and then we got rid of him. And then
No,
I think
he's
we
here.
gave one to. He's still here. I thought we gave one to Dwayne Washington.
No, we gave him a 2-year 2-way this season.
Oh,
Dwayne Washington got a roster spot. Isaiah Roby got a roster spot.
I'll say this though: when it's a two-way, you can get rid of it at any point though.
At any point. I remember how we did Kenny Wooten. Remember how we did Kenny Wooten so dirty?
Kenny Wooten had a highlight reel of the century in the G League.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him play an actual NBA game.
No, he was trash. For one, he was 6'6.5", a 6'6.5" power forward that wasn't strong but could jump. He was Kenya Martin. That blocked shots.
Well, at least Kenya Martin had an NBA body.
He was Derrick Jones Jr.
Okay.
Like a little bit bigger.
Speaking of, he declined his option. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be interested in him, but yeah, he's a free agent.
I would. But would Tibbs be interested?
Oh, athletic? Can jump? Can get out in transition? Nah, man.
Kerry Cox says Wooten is in Europe. No, I thought he was in Namibia. Yeah.
The guys we talking about, man, Tibbs don't want these dudes, man.
The Kenny Wooten played for the Cambia Lightning. Yeah.
Freezie, man, we about to sign another 6'4" guard. And then have Jacob Toppin on our two ways, even though he's trash.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know if I'm mad at it. I do feel betrayed by it. And I know that seems counterintuitive because if you're betrayed, shouldn't you be mad? No, not really. Because the thing is, the signs have been up the whole time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The signs have been up the whole time, man. We just choose to ignore certain stuff.
it it's it's one of those things where we're doing the same thing over and over. It's borderline. Well, not borderline. It is insanity.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I'm thinking the Toppin thing was a plan from day one, regardless if Obi was mad or not.
I agree. I agree. We use our connections to get. How tall is Jacob Toppin? What, 6'6", 6'5"?
6'7", 6'7". I think no, he's 6'9". He had a growth spurt. Now he had a real growth spurt because I think he was like 6'5" without shoes and then showed back up like because he got knocked out of Kentucky's rotation and then he showed up the next year like you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely honest, because if you're really a good player at Kentucky, you don't stay at Kentucky until you're 23 years old.
Right.
You're up out of there at 19, 20.
19. Cal trying to get you out of there at 18. You know what I'm saying? Because he got another 17-year-old coming to take his spot next year.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
he's maybe well, not for him, but there is a common theme lately around the league where you can draft an upperclassman that's been in college 2 3 years with like a polished skill set in terms of being like a 3 and D player. Like you can look at Trey Murphy, for example,
Okay.
or guys that come out of Virginia.
Yeah.
Like that's commonplace. That happens, but I've never seen that happen out of Kentucky.
Bro.
That's usually the smaller programs that it happens to where they put in the time and develop a guy.
Yeah. Or a guy may have
Calipari's
injuries,
not trying to
injuries, injuries.
yeah. Calipari's not trying to develop no guy.
Right. Right. How about we do a little bit of this? I wanna okay, let me show it. I wanna put it up in a way that we can all see it by division. Why is it not showing by division? Okay, by division. There it is. Let me blow this up a little bit. I got to do the step by step thing. I got to do the step by step thing with you. Pick everybody's brains,
Mhm.
and then that way our conversation can have a base. All right.
Gotcha.
So let me put this up on the screen. Take that down. Share this. I want to make this a little bit bigger. This is going to be huge on my screen, but I don't.
That's good.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. So, chat. This is what we should probably be looking at right now. Right. First of all, this division that you're looking at was the most competitive division in basketball. Our division. Our division was the most competitive division in basketball, right? Last year. And I know what people are saying. Well, let bygones be. Keep turning you crazy, bro. keep turning you. Keep turning like, oh Lord, Jesus, take the wheel. But here's the thing. I honestly, this is the thing that I wanted to show everybody. Look at the most competitive division in basketball, right? And when you look at the changes to most of these teams, and most of these teams had changes, right? Right? Now, when you look at that and you look at what the Knicks did, Do you think the Knicks are doing enough to even stay where they are in this competitive division?
Well, I'm gonna put it out even to a grander scale. I don't even think really divisions matter too much. I think conference standings matters more because ultimately you're outside of like maybe 3 games, you basically play everyone in the East the same amount of times.
Four
You put,
games, yep.
yeah. Outside of like 2 matchups a year, you probably see a team 3 times in the East.
Yeah,
But for the most part, if you were to bring up the entire East, it looks even worse.
yeah, yeah. But in division, you play 4 times a year.
Yeah,
Conference, you play teams 3 times a year, and other conference, you play them twice a year,
but
right?
for the like we played the Bulls 4 times last year. Like we
Okay.
play a lot of our inter conference guys 4 times. It's only about 2 teams we only play like 3 times
Yeah, we
every year.
played Miami 3 times.
Yeah,
I think. I
yeah.
think.
But in some other years or last year we played them 4 times. So
Okay.
like when I look at it in the greater scheme, like we might play maybe 4 extra games or 3 extra games in our division, but over the grand scheme, it kind of like the whole picture for the conference. If you looked up that whole picture, it doesn't look good either because
Yeah.
other divisions are getting better. Other divisions are doing things or they're attempting to shake things up, and we're content or we're thinking, okay, maybe internal growth might be able to take us over the top, and I'm doubtful of that. It's man, it's well, I have to see what the Sixers do, but I feel like the Sixers are definitely going to do something within the next few weeks. They have no choice to anyway.
Um. What I'll say to this, the reason why I want to show the
Yeah,
division. All
yeah,
right. So let me encapsulate one, and then we'll expand. I understand that the conference part of
yeah.
it of it in the standings. Right. When you look at everybody in our division,
Hmm.
everybody in our division is 500 or above
Yep,
in our division,
true.
right? Every team in our division had massive shakeups except us, right?
Yeah,
And now, when you look at us, you can look at the massive shakeup thing in a multitude of ways. Is it massive shakeups in a good way, i.e., the Celtics trading away players and trying to improve? Or
hmm,
you can look at it massive shakeups in a bad way in Toronto, firing the coach going to getting another job in the division. You don't have a point guard. The guy you thought was going to walk that you could improve upon opted into his contract. You have a log jam of basically 5 players at 2 positions. The big is Jacob Pertl is good, but not good enough.
he's just a guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's an NBA starter, but he's not taking you over the top yet. Once that 3-pointer comes, we'll have a different conversation with Jacob Pertl, right? But right now he is looking more like a Valanciunas, which okay, Toronto is used to Valanciunas anyway. They drafted Valanciunas.
Mhm.
So okay, Jacob Hurdle, Valanciunas, you like that type of center? Okay. But the thing about it is what happens now. The draft is over. Everybody on that board made moves except for us in Philly. Right? Everybody made moves except for us in Philly. So if you're the Knicks and you're
We
Philly,
we're playing it content like we're just that good, and we're guaranteed to be right back in the second round, bare minimum. We're
yeah,
making these assumptions or assertions, or maybe they're trying and they're just not capable of making these moves, which is even more. I don't know
But
what's worse.
let's do it one at a time, bro. It's the summertime.
Yeah,
Let's explore it one at a time. We don't have to be. There's no game tomorrow,
yeah.
right? So we can explore whatever topics we want to explore and just expound on them for as long as we want to, because there's really no rush to get anywhere until you know. But in terms of establishing a direction, which is the conversation that you started, right? Are we that good where we don't have to make moves,
No.
right?
Oh, I thought that was a question.
Yeah, yeah, it was rhetorical. I'm sorry. You see how rhetorical question, chat. You see how rhetorical questions do. You know what I'm saying?
Because you said it and then you paused for a second,
Yeah,
so I thought you was going.
it's the summertime. It's the summertime. You know, it's the summertime. We ain't really in no rush. The draft is over. Free agency doesn't start in earnest until July 1st or the day before July 1st, right?
Right.
So we're in this thing. Here's the question. Jalen Martin, why are you asking about Jalen Martin? Did we sign him? Dre, did we sign Jalen Martin?
I have to check. I don't know.
Okay, let me see.
Let me check. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Overtime elite Jalen Murray on a two
Uh,
way.
all right. Please don't tell me he better not be 6'5". That's all I'm saying.
He's 6'6", 220.
Oh, he made it. He made it. How tall is he?
6'6",
Is he? He looks
6'6",
young.
220. He's 19.
We signed him to a two-way or an exhibit one
Two
contract.
way. A two way.
Oh,
It might be looking bad for Keels, or we might be converting Keels' deal to like a regular contract because
mm,
Derrick Rose is leaving. Unless Derrick, you know what I'm saying? Like, he might decline his option or will decline his option, and then that opens a roster spot for him to get a regular contract instead of a two way.
I tell you what. I tell you what. Let's these first few minutes. Let's. I don't want to be the sniper on your point and pick it off and just leave it for dead. Right. Let's continue that, and then we'll talk about the two-way guys.
Okay.
Chat. Y'all okay with that? We'll talk about direction first, and then in about 20 minutes or when we finish, we'll talk about the two-way guys. Because I feel like we got to talk about the direction first because the direction explains why we did or did not do the expected things at the NBA draft. King and but y'all cool with that? Let's talk about what the perceived direction of the front office. That way we can break down what did or did not happen at the draft. Then we can speculate about what is to come in free agency, and then we'll talk about the two ways. You
Okay.
okay with that, Dre?
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Like
Yeah.
just outline a clear path. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if indeed we feel like we are good enough to compete with what we have and just backload the roster with cheap talent,
Yeah.
then I don't know where to go. Can I just leave it open? Can I just leave the ellipsis right there so that you can finish? Dot,
It,
dot, dot.
it's it looks like we're attempting to get guys under cheap contracts because Trevor Keels was our only draft pick over the last 2 years.
Right.
A healthy NBA franchise or a normal one drafts a guy and they may remove like a guy that's on a rookie scale contract just to reset it. But we're trying to reset it with two-way guys, apparently.
Okay. Okay. So that
Think
means
it's a,
Daquan Jeffries and Dwayne Washington are no longer here,
yep,
basically.
yeah, they gone.
Okay. Trevor Kills, we would think, is still here because we hadn't seen anything from Knicks PR.
In terms of letting them go, or
Yeah.
and it's not like these guys are locks to be at summer league,
Yeah.
chucking up shots.
Yeah.
It ain't no exhibit 10. It ain't nothing,
Right.
none of that.
The training camp invite. You know, y'all know that the training camp invite, they pay your health insurance for like as long as camp is here. You know, you're a workout body. The rosters are expanded to 20. They pay all your expenses, and I think they pay you like what, $35,000 a month or something egregious. I think something like $35,000 a month, or is it $35,000 total?
I actually don't know, Freezy. One
They
of the
they
things
pay
I
you
do not know.
they
I
pay
know,
you a
like
lot of money to play basketball if you're a street baller, basically.
I'm thinking of it like in the same way that practice squad guys get paid, Freezy, like in the NFL.
Nah, they get paid. They'll get paid more than that. Those
Yeah.
dudes get like $6,800 a month or something ridiculous.
Damn.
Yeah, they don't get paid nothing. Yeah, they don't get paid nothing, bro. Yeah,
Well,
but
that's one of the things when like there's only 450 NBA players as opposed to like 2 grand, 2,000, 3,000 NFL players.
yeah, yeah,
Just more of the pie to go around.
yeah. And so my question to you is, what type of team is being built?
Mm-hmm. Oh, one last thing. Well, about the two-way contracts, Freezy. Before I even get to that, teams can carry three two-way players next year.
Next year or this coming
This
up?
this whole off season.
Okay,
So I'm going by Ian Begley with Jalen Martin and Jacob Toppin on two-way contracts. The Knicks will have to make a decision on Trevor Keels and or Dwayne Washington Jr. Both Keels and Washington Jr. are on two-way deals. Teams can carry three players on two-way contracts next season.
okay,
So we're probably gonna get rid of Dwayne.
yeah. Dwayne Washington is gone.
Yeah, but yeah, what type of team are we building? I
Yeah,
think we're a team. We're trying to bide our time for this perfect trade to happen where we don't overpay for this perfect player or this perfect scenario or perfect situation to happen where we can just throw our protected picks and our own picks at it and going from being competitive to being an outright contender. I think that's what they're attempting to do.
okay,
I don't think they're trying in this offseason to to they're definitely not taking the Phoenix Suns approach where they're burning all their assets
okay,
because they see something that they like and they're just going to go for it. Like we see things and we're not going to overpay.
okay.
We're trying to micromanage these things, and I think some of that might be Brock Aller's personality in that mix. But we're trying to get the perfect trade, which just doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist in today's NBA.
So let me ask this because I asked the question wrong.
Yeah,
What type of team on the court?
on the court, we're trying to get scrappy guys that try really, really hard, not really basing things on athleticism, not really basing things on spacing.
Right.
It's it's really just trying to outwork the other team. That's essentially what we're trying to build, and that's something where it's the identity of Tom Thibodeau. It's always
Okay.
been his identity, and he has his fingerprints all over his team in terms of roster construction. And if we get guys that don't fit his identity, well, you know what he does? He just doesn't play them.
He just won't play him. So
And I
here,
think the front office realizes that, so we just acquiesce
yeah.
and just give him what he wants.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with it. At what point, as the front office, do you realize Tom Thibodeau is going to break Jalen Brunson, and you go out and get a break preventer, so to speak, for lack of a better term?
I, I'm. It's hard for me to tell because, by all reports, Leon Rose is fiercely loyal to Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, I don't blame him in that. I don't blame him, but it's like, say me and you driving down the road on a long road trip. I see you getting sleepy. You think I'm gonna let you keep driving? Nah, right? Hey Drake, get over there on the passenger seat, man. I'll drive. Right?
Right.
Does that mean you still not going on the trip because you got sleepy? No.
It is it one of those things where Tom Thibodeau is a control freak?
Is it one
And
of those things that Tom Thibodeau will, with his sleepy ass, will drive us in a ditch?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm getting at.
if he doesn't have it his particular way, he will just get out the car and walk home.
At that point, you got to ask him: is he a part of this thing or what? Right? Is it about you or is it about the team?
Well, when it becomes like that, that's when entire organizations clean house. Because if you're just gonna let guy drive sleep, and everybody got to go at some point. Then
You know what this tells me in terms of team building?
yeah,
Emmanuel quickly is getting extended to big money. You know how I
yeah.
know that? Because
How?
not even on the two-way deals did they think about signing a point guard.
Mm,
And on top of that, they hadn't even been rumored to be connected to a backup point guard
or trading for a point guard
or
or
traded.
anything.
Yeah. Y'all, now y'all see where I'm going with the conversation. Listen, hey, listen. I already know. I've been a YouTuber for a long time, right? I don't want to just talk to y'all about, oh, I hate the front office. I want to. I don't like conversations that you basically sleeping on top of the covers. I don't like doing that, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't like, what I'm saying, taking a metal detector to a treasure hunt, bro. I like to get in there, dig stuff up. You feel me? And
Mhm.
so for some people, that might seem like I'm esoteric. To me, it's like Columbo connecting the dots. They're not rumored to a point guard. They didn't sign a point guard to a two-way. What that tells me is Emmanuel quickly is the backup point guard of the foreseeable future. And even though even though he wants to start, he won't be able to, but they'll pay him starters money. That's what I think is going to happen.
That would be a mistake.
Right. But it'll be our mistake, though. It won't be a general mistake.
Mm.
You feel me? Like for instance, if you pay Emmanuel quickly starters money and Tibbs runs it down and breaks him, like it's going to happen. It's going to happen because Tibbs does it to everybody. Hey, Dre, you remember the year where Tibbs broke 4-point guards in the same season? You remember when LeBron they were so short on point guards that
Yeah,
they
John Lucas out
John Lucas was the point guard and LeBron jumped over him because he was so short. You remember the LeBron James jumped over him baseline and dunked on him?
Oh man,
But y'all remember that, right?
yeah,
Because this did occur
it absolutely. He jumped over him. He and his knees went over his head.
over his head, bro. Tibbs broke so many point guards that Nate Robinson started in the playoffs for Tibbs.
Good God.
It's gonna happen. Jalen Brunson is gonna get injured, and it's
And
not.
we need someone that can be able to perform at a starting point guard caliber level.
And that's why you're extending quickly to starters money.
Good God.
Bro, it's what it is.
It's that's very unfortunate if we're already operating assuming someone's gonna get hurt instead of playing them like a normal team would.
Let me, but think about this, Drake. Think about this. This year, you saw Jalen Brunson get a myriad of injuries this year. The hip, the
The
bruised hip,
hand, the
the
hand,
hand, the back,
the ankle.
ankle, the foot, right? Oh, now, fortunately, quickly as a starter, averaged 22 points a game on 46% shooting from the floor.
Very
Right,
fortunately.
right. Here's
It's
the thing.
Freezy. As long as Brunson is playing with absurd usage and all his shots are in isolation because he's just that damn good at isolation, that's
Yeah,
just putting him in harm's way for more opportunities to get hurt. And
yeah.
when you're smaller than everyone, that's only going to happen.
His offense is perfect,
Yeah.
right? Because here's the thing with NBA defenses: protect the rim, protect the 3-point line, and if you have a deadly mid-range game, you can get mismatches against anyone and score. And
Yeah.
I know people what people are going to say automatically is, well, people don't take a lot of mid-range shots. No, teams don't take a lot of. Certain NBA players live in a mid-range.
Yeah, analytics is not against taking a mid-range shot. It's who's taking it, really. And
Right.
most players aren't good at it. That's just
Most players aren't good at it. Right. I had somebody tell me when it comes to touch, it's easier to teach somebody touch from farther away than it is right up on the basket. Right. And I was like, what? And then they reminded me, remember how basketball used to look like volleyball at the rim?
mhm.
Everybody missing bunnies, everybody swatting, everybody missing 4-footers. And I was like, yo, I don't even remember that. And he was like, yeah, exactly. But that's the way the NBA used to be a long time ago. It's the reason why Michael Cage used to average 15 rebounds a game.
because they were just throwing it up.
Yeah, it is just throw
Volleyball off the glass.
off the glass. Go get it. Put it back up. Go get it. Put it back up. Go get it. Bill Russell. Bill Russell averaged like 19 rebounds a game. That's crazy. Right? So, but here's my thing to you, though, Dre. If the Knicks plan is this, if the Knicks plan is to extend Obi, which it looks like that now, extend Obi, extend quickly, right? Then what type of team are we looking at?
The same team.
No,
it's
I mean,
yeah, I know what you're saying. Like we're just looking at a team that's going to play scrappy. We're going to see guys in positions that aren't for their skill set because they fit a certain because they're in Tibbs's mind. You're only going to play basketball a specific way, and we're just going to have guys that don't fit, or if they do fit, you're just going to see them get overused.
right,
It's and Freezy, when we talk about like these extensions, even if they do get an extension, because of how we set up our connections and CAA, we get we usually get good contracts, like movable deals, usually,
Right.
excluding
But
Evan Fournier.
except we don't move anything. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't move anything. But to that to that to that point, hypothetically speaking, say we got quickly on a 4-year, $80 million contract because he has a talent level of a starting point guard. Someone will come asking for him. What we're probably trying to do is get guys underneath quote unquote favorable deals. So when a star that we like, that Tom Thibodeau likes, that fits what Tom Thibodeau thinks a star should be, comes and they make $50 million, we can just throw them in as filler, as a sweetener on top of draft picks because they aren't these overly bloated contracts. They aren't the Tobias Harris's making 35 million every year since 2017. They aren't those kind of deals.
Yeah.
They're the throw-ins. They're like basically. Remember, Kevin Durant got traded. Mikal Bridges was on a nice team-friendly contract. Like I think it was 4 years, 90 million or something like that.
Right.
It's like they're trying to make these guys be viable but have movable contracts. Like RJ Barrett's contract is one that is deemed to be movable. We don't know if it is.
All right. 26
As
and
of
a half.
yet.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
It's not bad when we consider what the actual max is.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do this thing where we bide our time and then we try to pounce for this mythical perfect player that just happens to pop out at the right time and we have the money to match it perfectly and we only have to give up 2 picks. And like, to be absolutely honest, that's just not how the league works, man. Like,
Right.
you're either gonna get a super favorable deal, or depending on the context, or you're gonna have to overpay. Like the Suns got both sides of that token. They overpaid for Kevin Durant, and then they underpaid for Beal because he had the no trade context.
Yeah.
But there is no perfect deal that doesn't exist. But it seems like we're angling for this perfect deal. Like we want to penny pinch and get this perfect. We want to get Bradley. I mean, we want to get like Zach LaVine. In the most ideal scenario, you want to get Zach LaVine for Obi, Fournier, Rose opting in, and 2 picks. Right? That's like the most optimal scenario. That's what I feel like this front office has been angling for. I don't see it actually being realistic. Like when these teams come here asking for stuff, they're gonna ask for Quickie. They're gonna ask for Grimes. It's just, it is what it is. They're probably gonna ask for both at the same time. And I think we're trying to angle, and sometimes we, as Mega said in the chat, sometimes we overvalue what we do have.
Right.
And we're trying to like get this perfect deal. And we're biding our it's the same thing last year with Donovan Mitchell. Even though there was a New York tax, we didn't want to pay the New York tax.
Right.
So now here we are in a pretty nice position, but we're still just biding our time for that special player that may never actually come or be available.
Okay. So we're talking philosophy, right?
Yeah.
But on the court, what I'm thinking we're gonna do
Mhm.
is double down on more of the same with Tibbs.
Oh God.
So if you thought you saw, if you were frustrated with what you saw last year, imagine what's going to happen when Tibbs gets his contract extension and he goes into his 4th season.
Oh, we drafted in like two 6'4" guards.
Yeah, we're gonna sign them in free agency. Right? What we're gonna
We're gonna
see.
get more. We're gonna re-sign Obi and make him take more corner 3-pointers.
Yeah.
We're gonna see even more heavy isolation basketball on
I
super high usage that may get our players hurt or tired out by the time the playoffs come.
ironically, Dre, I think what we're gonna see is more Obi at the three, right? I think we're gonna see that, right? I also think we're gonna see more Obi and Randall together. I think we're gonna see more RJ at the two, right? Because Josh Hart's not a two. And I
That
noticed,
man is a power forward.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I noticed in lineups with Grimes and RJ that man is when even with RJ in the game, RJ plays the two and Josh Hart plays the three, depending on what the lineup is. If he's in the game with Obi, if he's in the game with Obi will play the three, right? And I know this is going to sound ridiculous. People are going to say, "Man, Uncle Freezie, what you talking about, man? You crazy?"
Oh, you
No,
mean like offensively, he will be doing small forward things. Now, when we get back on defense, he might be the weak side help defender, like rim protect, well, pseudo rim protector.
who Josh Hart or
No,
Obi?
I'm Obi. Obi.
What I'm saying is I think they're going to use lineup flexibility to cover up some of the holes in the roster, and I think it's a smart thing to do it that way. But the dumb thing is to have holes in your roster, right? You see where I'm going with it? Like,
I see where you're going with it, but I also feel like we pigeonhole ourselves into thinking that we have more holes than what we do have. Like, for instance, we're one of the few teams in the league that have a four big rotation. We have
it's actually a five big rotation. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
well, Josh, if you call him Josh Hart, but
Josh Hart,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
what they're like these guys listed, but we're one of the few teams that have a power forward starting, a backup power forward, a starting center, and a backup center.
And what I'm telling you,
We're never one of
we
those
have two
teams
backup
that
power forwards.
I'm saying we're never one of those teams that have these lineups where we run. Ironically, we run two power forwards and we have one play pseudo center or small ball center. Even though Freezy, the last possession of our season, we have Randall at the five, but we never do it the entire year. What sense
Yeah,
does that make?
yeah. Well. There was nothing to lose except the game in that situation.
I'm saying, but how are we ever going to get good at playing those small ball lineups if we never play them until it's dire and we need to execute at the most optimal way? Like these are not things that make sense for me. Like how you it would be like Freezy. It would be like if Miami decided to run their signature zone, right? But they didn't run that zone all year but for five possessions.
I get that, and I understand that. I get that, and I understand that. But the thing about it is, archetype and mentality are two different things, bro. Like Obi's archetype is power forward. His mentality is wing player. Josh Hart's mentality is power forward bruiser, but his archetype is wing player.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter if he big or small, big or little, blue or red. You know what I'm saying? 3 eyes, 4 eyes. It don't matter. When Josh Hart gets in the game, bro, he operates like a power forward. You know what I'm saying? So
Man is doing dribble handoffs and flipping screens
not
over.
even looking at the rim. Not even looking at the rim.
They calling him to run up there and set screens and flip the screen over like he is a 6'10" power forward.
Not even a ghost screen to get you a wing three, right? Because the archetype is because listen, who runs more ghost screens than Klay Thompson? Nobody, right? Nobody is running, excuse me, more ghost screens than Klay Thompson. Coming up, faking the screen so he can get a wide open look for three. We know what it is. But sometimes he will actually screen someone,
And then that would actually get someone open.
right? You feel me? So yeah. Yeah,
But
that's what
once you keep showing the same look over and over, they got this man Josh Hart running up there. The Heat are like, oh, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's not gonna look at the rim. He might get the ball. He'll panic with the ball. Like he'll start looking at the ground while dribbling, like it's like he's a 1970s point guard.
Or 7 years old.
I was a little bit disrespectful for the 70s point guard, like a 1970s power forward. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Start looking at the ball while he's dribbling.
As soon as he catches it, you know what the tag man does on the pick and roll defense?
They sag off.
He goes over to Grimes. He goes
because
over
he knows that pass, because he knows he wants to make that pass so badly.
Right. And the best play there is instead of giving Grimes a wide open look for three, the best play there is Josh Hart putting his head down, barreling to the rim.
But the thing is, even when he does do that, he
I
can't.
mean, I meant best play for the defense, by the way.
For the defense, like he'll do that, and he's so predictable in his move. I remember watching a game where, what's his name, JJ Redick was calling a game, and he's like, "We know what he's gonna do. He's gonna do the reverse euro and finish with his right hand."
Yeah.
And that, while that may work in the regular season, all of those things get scouted out and your traits get blown up in the playoffs, which is why he had so many charges. He didn't have nearly as many charges in the regular season.
Right.
But because he's a limited player, but Tibbs is in love with him because of his effort. It is what it is. He tries really hard, even though he's really not that good.
And here's the thing, I don't dislike him, right? I don't dislike him. I just dislike the game, right? You're barely 6'4", bro. You want to play 6'7", 6'8", but that's not today's game, bro.
And you don't even necessarily need to be a great shooter to be effective at 6'4" as a guard. Just do guard things. Keep your head up while you're dribbling.
Right.
Survey the court while you're dribbling.
Throw outlet passes. Hello? you know, I call it the devolution of Lou Dort, right? What Lou Dort does how tall is Lou Dort?
6'2". He's 6'2".
6'2", right? And he's kind of like Josh Hart in a way where he wants to play bigger than his stature, right? But Lou Dort will occasionally do guard stuff. Occasionally. Like when SGA has his man pinned in a post, Lou Dort can throw that pass in the post to SGA.
Yeah.
Get SGA those easy looks. You know what I'm saying? And not a wobbly pass either, but a pass on time and on the spot. On target.
I think Josh Hart lacks touch.
I think Josh Hart is a 6'4" Cliff Levingston.
I don't know, Freezie. Josh is it's kind of rough. 6'4" Noah Vonleh?
No, he's smarter than Vonleh, bro. Noah Vonleh might be the. I used to think Noah Vonleh was the dumbest basketball player ever. I'm starting to think like he might be. I don't know, but maybe human, maybe the human race. Did you remember the game where he threw 5? He had 5 turnovers throwing an outlet pass.
Oh my god! And
guy.
He would try to throw lobs too.
Oh my god!
Off the backboard, clank, real hard.
I think we were playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, and this dude kept trying to throw the outlet pass, and it got picked off 3 straight times by the same guy. Like they baited him into it. They showed him a look, and he was like, "Oh, he opened." And next thing you know, he getting dunked on at the other end. And it was laughable. Like, yo, why do you keep? Oh, he did it again. Yeah. So when it comes to Vonleh has all the. He's got everything except the IQ. I Noah Vonleh. No disrespect to Noah Vonleh, but every time I see him, I think about the Wizard of Oz. If I only had a brain.
He had the physical traits for
Yeah,
sure.
everything, bro. Everything.
Can't teach feel.
Yeah, but yeah. Noah Vonleh is like if an athletic boxer played basketball, right? He got everything. He's just in the wrong sport, man. He just yeah, Noah Vonleh. But my point to our roster, and the reason why I want to have the conversation about on the court stuff is because understanding understanding our personnel understanding our personnel is something I don't think the Knicks fans and most Knicks fans understand, right? Because just because Josh Hart is listed as a shooting guard doesn't mean
He is not a shooting guard.
he is not. He is not Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly is a shooting / combo guard. Him and Josh Hart are not the same.
Him
They're,
and Grimes are not the same.
him and Grimes are not the same, bro. You know what? He and RJ are not the same.
It's kind of funny because he's like the reverse of what you want in the modern NBA. Because you want your bigger players to do guard things, not
Right.
your smaller players to do big
To
things.
be, yeah. Yeah.
And if you're the smaller player doing big things, you need to be a power forward playing the five, not a two guard masquerading or a yeah two guard masquerading as a power forward.
Yeah, I would even take Derek Jones, the Derek Jones type players that are threes that can play the five. Right? They're little because in the grand scheme of things, I think Derek Jones and RJ Barrett are the same size, right?
Yeah, but that man
But
can fly.
or listed as the same size. Let me put it that way. Because we know RJ Barrett is not 214.
But the thing with Derrick Jones is he can be a weak side rim protector just because of his athleticism,
Because he is fast, bro.
and he's a deterrent.
This dude is like the Flash, right? This dude is the Flash, right? But the thing about it is with our personnel, let me just say it like this. Let me ask you this: what is Jalen Brunson on the court? Not off the court, not what he means to the team, not his contract. What is Jalen Brunson on the floor?
A scoring guard, a playmaker. I won't say he's by physical stature he is a point guard, right?
Right, right.
But the things he does on the court, would you consider it a well? I mean, in this NBA, the idea of a traditional point guard is gone. There are no more rondos leading
Right,
teams.
because teams run motion offenses. You don't need a point of attack person in an NBA that runs motion. Man, Sacramento runs a trident offense where as soon as you catch it, you got three options to pass to. Not even you can shoot,
You-
you can
and
dribble.
the cutters present multiple options. They just dump it in to hit
Right,
to a big on the elbow, and depending on where like the Aaron Fox cuts, if he cuts into on the interior or he cuts on the right side,
right,
it presents different looks
right.
repeatedly over and over. It's just
And they cut off the cutters.
yeah.
Right? They cut off the cutters like you see a cutter coming this way and his man is behind him. What you do is cut in the opposite direction and bump that man's man. And basically, what you do is give your teammate that you just passed a few extra steps of open space where they can catch the ball and do something with it.
And while you're busy being mesmerized by that two-man game that has multiple options, if you ball watching, somebody's right at the rim
So,
waiting for a layup.
and you know what? And you know what? The first thing a basketball coach teaches a defense.
Watch the ball
keep
in your man.
keep your eye on the ball. Right. That's the first thing you learn in sports is keep your
Watch the
eye
ball.
on the ball. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as you do a basic fundamental, their offense had you that millisecond is all somebody.
It's
That's
a
all
layup.
Michael Porter. That's all Michael Porter Jr. needs when he catches it with some open space around the rim.
Yeah. But it also helps when you're 6'10",
Yeah.
and when you have that split second while being 6'10" is just an overwhelming advantage.
Or can I say or 6'7"?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 6'8" or a 6'7" athlete.
Or 6'6" athlete that can get up.
Right.
It's when you have multiple things working on your side in that regard, it makes the game easier.
Right. Because
How
a defender is taught the first thing you're taught as a defender in sports, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever. Keep your eye on the ball. That's your first thing. That's the first thing you're taught. So it puts you in jeopardy. It jeopardizes your fundamentals off the rip. Right. So now if you're Josh Hart, if you're a 6'4" Cliff Levingston, now you get caught up in jeopardy all the time. Because all it takes is for you to ball watch for a little bit, right? And now Aaron Gordon has you pinned under the rim. Aaron Gordon 6'7", 245.
a man might be a little bit bigger than that, Freezie.
He may be. He may be.
but but to that point, it's when you're talking about these things, you also need guys with the IQ, right? On both ends, guys with the physical capability
Okay.
and the willingness. I think we have guys that are willing but not the smartest. Willing and not really pointed in the right direction. We got a bunch of like rabid dogs that
Right.
they're just running into a fence and just barking at you behind the fence. Don't know how to get around the fence to come bite you,
Right.
but we can bark real loud behind that fence.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying about what I'm thinking with the Knicks is a base fundamental offense. We're gonna run the read and react from the. We're not even gonna, bro. Have you ever seen read and react run?
We're
From
just running
anything?
read and ISO
Yeah, but the point I'm getting at is when have you seen the read and react done on
correctly.
it or no on any other position on the floor except top of the key?
No.
You have not even seen.
If we start an offense or offensive possession with like a set from like the wing, it's just pistol action. There is no. There is
That's what old school coaches like Tibbs try to do. Try to use pistol action as a
an appeasement.
alternative.
Like here, take this.
Yeah, and as an alternative to running the read and react from the top of the key. Because when you run pistol actions underneath the rim, what it's supposed to generate, for one, the first look on anything that starts with pin downs and pistols from there, what it's supposed to do is a pass that attacks the basket. And we don't get those because we don't have passers on this team. Right?
We don't incentivize passing anyway. So.
Yeah, because it's a conversation you and I had a month ago. When I asked, when's the last time you seen the Knicks run a high-low with a big passing down to say an RJ Barrett pinning down Trey?
Pinning down a little guard.
Yeah.
So
When's the last time you saw that?
And it's that pass is almost always done by another guard. It's not ever done by like Randall is not hitting RJ in the post to attack a small guard.
Right. And
a
so
center is not hitting him in the post to attack a small guard.
Mitch?
No.
You lucky. You'll be lucky if you get that basketball back.
We don't even get that from Hartenstein, and he actually has the capability
of doing it from 20 feet away. He can space the floor and do it. Right? But Dre, my point though is even with pistol actions and like with horns, pistol actions, read and react from underneath the rim, you start down low. And you know what I'm saying, and run, read and react from that way with the, you know what I'm saying? I know it's harder to do it underneath the rim, read and react underneath the rim. I know it's harder because it's less space to operate, right? But you could do. I was taught you could do the read and react without the ball, right? You could do read and react without the ball. The first person flashes open, you get it to them, you zing it to them. They got to be able to catch and they got to be able to finish quickly. I saw Princeton do it to Georgetown one year, and people were like, "Oh, but the backdoor cuts." Well, the backdoor cuts are there because in the read and react, when you get the big, when the small goes onto a big,
It puts you in jeopardy.
yeah,
Puts you in jeopardy. You got to make a decision
yeah,
because you
yeah,
can't take away everything. Something is gonna be there, provided you move and you have high IQ guys and guys that can catch the ball. It's simple. I mean, but it's kind of funny. We oversimplify our game to make it easier for the players to get shot attempts up at the rim,
right,
but that's not going to take you very far. I mean, you could just watch the finals and see two teams that were playing great defense and they still found ways to generate good looks because great offense beats great defense.
right. I
It's
was.
it's it's
I'm
it's
sorry.
kind of just I'm kind of like I already kind of know what we're gonna get coming in next season.
Yep, yep,
Barring if we make any moves, we're gonna see Grimes be timid.
right,
He's not gonna be featured to get shots off. He's not gonna come off any pin downs or curls. We're not gonna see if we can get him going. We're gonna
right,
see a lot of read and react, which is read and get a mismatch, and then attack said mismatch.
right,
And attacking mismatches in the regular season, it's not the same thing as attacking mismatches in the postseason.
right,
I think the thing with Tibbs is he believes because you develop winning habits in the regular season that these same winning habits will always work in the postseason. Whereas you're being scouted. Teams know where your winning habits are. They're not just gonna let you get your winning habits just because
right,
you feel like it. You can't share will it.
right. Right. I want to show. I want to show this, y'all, and I have to slow it down. Right. So I have to slow it down so YouTube won't act crazy. Right. But this is what. Look at this is what Dre and I are talking about. Right. All right. So I'm just gonna play a little bit and then I'm gonna stop. Right. All right. This is when we were getting to the action. Everybody see that, right? Everybody can see that.
Yep.
Right? You see the screen being set away, right?
Yep.
Dre, remember how I was talking about how we screen bad? Like Mitch comes right to the ball and screens as opposed to screening away.
Yep.
This is one thing. This is I want to run this so bad, bro. Right? So okay. Maybe I should just let it run.
You just let it run.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it run. I'm gonna stop it occasionally so YouTube won't ban us. But let me see here. All right. All right. So action. So that was action number one was the pass to the guy to. Okay. All right. Yeah. See that? See how easy that is? Corey Lee, do you see? Did you see that shot at the elbow that RJ Barrett can eat on for his entire career? Why we don't run that?
Well, part of that is Tibbs telling him, "Hey, bump
Drive to
the
the basket.
bump the mid range shot, get to the basket, attack the rim, get shot attempts up at the rim, clean up the glass with Mitch Robinson." Now, in the regular season, it works all the time. Like you can live off that, you can eat off that. But in the postseason, teams are gonna crack back hard. Teams are gonna push Mitch out the way. Teams are gonna like you can watch Kyle Lowry do all his hijinks and not
Right.
get called for it because the game is just more physical. You can scheme these things away. You can scheme living off of the glass away.
Right.
You can't do that in the postseason.
Right.
It's I mean, you know what I would love to see in that same position? I would love to see an inverse pick and roll or inverse pistol action with Randall getting the ball in that position and him getting a screen from his five
Right.
and him going downhill with his left hand.
Right.
But we kind of deviate away from that and we just go to this thing where we oversimplify it. We over attack just mismatches. And I mean, you can, like I said before, you can get away with it in the regular season.
Right.
Teams are just not gonna. Teams are just
Honor.
not gonna concede that in the postseason. Every
Yeah.
possession matters more.
Yeah. Yeah. But my thing though, Dre, I think you could get both in what you said.
Right.
RJ Barrett at that elbow, once he catches, defenses have to commit. Right? A big has to stop that.
And
The
make a
threat
decision.
of the penetration. Yeah, the threat of it. See, because the jump shot is not the threat there. The threat is continuing all the way to the rim. Because even if you ease up, you can still accelerate and go. James Harden is the king of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's let me I'm gonna play this one here too, just to make sure that we all get understand the look. Look at the ball at the top of the key, right? Already, first of all, Houston is defending this because they know it's coming, right? If you look, the Rockets have defenders at half court ready to try to stop the ball, right? And this guy right here, I don't know what number that is. It's 31 or 30 something, right? Is looking to pick up the other backcourt player, right? Their big is ready to pick up the big in white at the top of the key.
It's kind of funny because this film is definitely from like 5 or 6 years ago because Batum is
Right,
that's definitely Nicholas Batum and he hasn't been a Blazer in a minute.
right, right, right.
So like we're not like reinventing basketball at this point. This is
Right.
simple stuff that has existed for decades.
Basics, the basics, right? Right. The score fast with the pistol offense. I'm gonna let it play for a second. Right. All right. You see the handoff, right? And the screener, right? Right. Right. And Dre, did you see that weak side over in the corner is not occupied?
Yep. It's
All right.
empty
Yep.
side.
Yep. Yep.
It gives him more room to go downhill if the opposition is there with the left hand.
Right.
But when you're setting the screen, it also gives him the option to go around. So if you're over hedging, he can blow by with the left. Or
Right.
if you're not being extra on that screen, he can just dribble you right into that screen and get a three over the top.
Right. Or
Depending on who the player is. But
Aldridge can drift into that space for an open jumper.
yeah. Yeah.
Right? I got you. We together on this, y'all. Watch this. We are together on this. But that is exactly what Dre said. Did you see that? He never even saw this video. Right? At least I don't think Dre saw. You saw this?
Nah, never seen it.
But I can't DM Dre means I know basketball. Right. So yeah. Yeah. So now you got I mean chat. What we're saying is the basics of this stuff is easy. Like some of this now, mind you, we saw the play run with two of the not fastest because Schroeder is fast, but Lillard is athletic. So
He's
let me just
dynamic.
yeah, let's say dynamic guards, at least during that time. Right? Yeah.
That's a Terry Stotts offense, by the way.
Yeah. 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 And so what we're saying is basketball can be easy if you allow it to be. At the same time, your personnel has to play to their archetype, right? LaMarcus Aldridge is not a role man.
Pick and pop.
He's a yes, right? Julius Randle is not a role man. He's a pick and popper. It doesn't matter what his body looks like, right? It doesn't matter what he looks like. His mentality is something else, right? This is Dre. This is what I've been trying to get to, man. I'm not trying to rewrite whatever. What I'm saying is you know, we have to expect our personnel to play to their mentality. We can't ask somebody to be other than what they feel comfortable being, even if they have the potential and they look like they could be something else. And the reason why I bring this up is because even though Obi looks like Tarzan, he don't play like that.
Nah.
Right? And even though Josh Hart looks like a standard shooting guard, he doesn't play like that. Right?
Talking about 6'4" Clarence Witherspoon.
Yes.
Got you.
6'4" Oliver Miller. Yeah.
6'4" Michael Sweetney.
Yeah.
Nah, that was kind of harsh. I'm gonna tell you. That was a little harsh. My bad, Josh Hart, if you listen.
Yeah, but Dre, you see how easy the pistol. Dre have been saying the pistol action with RJ since I met him. Since we first met Dre, he was saying pistol action with RJ since I remember you hearing you say it a lot, the pistol action.
Yeah, but we only get one look out of that same pistol, even though there's like 5 different options.
Yes. I mean, yeah, because even though it may or may not start, see, you saw the 2 variations, right? The dribble handoff.
Yeah.
And then just take the screen.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
I think we oversimplify things and go against what guys are capable of doing because Tibbs is kind of like averse of mistakes. Because ultimately, when they're playing at the highest level, mistakes are going to happen if you give guys autonomy and freedom to do things.
Yeah.
But the growth from learning within mistakes trumps that, in my opinion. Now, when you have guys that only give you one specific look out of I just say the pistol action, I remember Uncle Freezie after RJ dropped like 40 something on the Heat, right?
Yeah.
Every game after that, they blitzed that pistol action because they knew we weren't going to get any other type of look out of it. There was not going to be anybody on the backside. We weren't going to swing the ball.
Looking at cut baseline. Yep. There wasn't going to be a 3-point shooter drift into the corner. We were not going to vary the look. So if you came up with a scheme to stop that one, it would stop completely.
Yeah. So we had no pivot to when they stopped the RJ.
Except kick it back out to the perimeter.
Except give it back to Brunson and Brunson hunt a mismatch and just get a bucket.
Yeah.
Which is just it's irrational. You can't just live like that.
Yeah. And so ultimately, man, the reason why I want to do this thing on the court before we talk about the two-way players is because we have to recognize the type of personnel that this front office is going to bring in. And once we know what type of player they want to bring in, bro, now we can talk. Right? And now we can talk. See, we didn't even get to horns. We didn't even get to variations of the motion offense. Right? Because in a motion offenses, bro, it doesn't even matter who the ball handler is at times because everybody can dribble, pass, and shoot. If you run in variations like I like the offense that the Baylor Bears ran um, 3 seasons ago when Davion Mitchell was there.
I'm trying to remember.
Was it three? Scott Drew.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell played for them 3 years ago.
Yeah. When they ran
He's already two at NBA seasons in. So
yeah. So when they ran a flex motion offense, right? And all the flex motion offense was they ran a motion offense where the rim was always threatened and the paint was always threatened from the top of the key or in that area. Like you can attack. You always had somebody. You always basically the other team's big was in jeopardy of giving up the 8-footer or the dunk. So the big was always like in this weird spot where he couldn't vary
it
because
was like it was almost indirectly forcing them to go into a zone, even though they didn't want to.
Yeah.
But they had him playing basically on the river on the bank in the paint.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. And I forget what they call it. I forget what they call it, but the principles of it was you cut high enough in the paint where if they're bumping cutters, he had to leave the rim area to come bump cutters. And if they did that, they had guys zooming in behind them. So he was always in jeopardy. Look, like for instance, I don't know if we bump cutters like we should. Like I don't see Mitch just knocking cats out coming through the paint.
Well, I'll say this: the freedom of movement, like thing that became a thing because of the Warriors.
Yeah.
If you do that in the regular season, they'll call the foul. Now in the postseason, they're a little bit more lax with it.
Yeah.
Because the Heat bump cutters. Even though we rarely cut, they made sure they bumped the hell out of them cutters.
The Hawks, man, listen, the Hawks intimidated us 2 years ago. People are talking about Randall. Like Randall hold the ball too long, right? Randall hold the ball too long. But then when you watching Reggie Bullock come through the paint and get bumped, he's not even ready to receive the pass.
It like because Capella would come through with that quasi fake zombie zone.
Oh yeah,
then we'll send Reggie Bullock down the middle of the paint, and then he'll cut out to like a right corner three while Randall's on the opposite side of the court, and they would just chicken wing him out the way because like, what are you doing, bro? Get out the paint. What are you scared of you? They did you're not getting the ball. Yeah, you're not gonna finish. So why are you even in the paint? Move. And they would just bump him out the way. And then they'll put their arms out, and then they'll figure out where he and they'll redirect him to wherever he's going. And that was more of a symptom of just poor roster construction and guys with flaws, in my opinion.
Right, but Tibbs got the very best out of that unit, though. Tibbs got the very best out of that unit, though. I'll give him credit for that. He deserved Coach of the Year for that because that roster was
trash.
Yeah.
And hey, look, man, winning that many games with your starting point guard being Alfred Payne. Alfred Payne is not even in the league right now. No. He's in the G League, actually.
He trash. Alfred Payton is and Kaysen Wallace, the dude from Kentucky, looks just like him, bro.
You don't like Kaysen Wallace game? Damn.
Next question. Yeah, next question. I'm no disrespect to Kaysen Wallace, right? But yeah, that archetype of player barely pops, bro. Every now and then,
you gotta have generational court vision.
Every now and then, that archetype will develop into a Gary Payton, but not often enough for you to look for it. And that's more of a hey, look what I found, as opposed to I'm looking for that.
And the thing is, with Gary Payton, he was 20, no matter what. Rain, sleet.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
20. You getting 20 out of Gary Payton, bare minimum.
because he started posting up smaller guards.
Yep.
But the one thing about Gary Payton out of Oregon State is Gary Payton couldn't shoot. Every time Gary Payton shot the ball, a broken backboard got his wings. That's how bad his shot was, bro.
As bad as Ace and Kid.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I guess ultimately, what I'm getting at though is if we talk about roster construction, what we have already, what is RJ Barrett?
Power forward.
I think RJ Barrett is more of a, say for instance, if RJ Barrett played for Mike Malone, I think RJ Barrett would look more like a jumbo guard.
Oh yeah. Because they would definitely put teams in precarious positions to exploit smaller guards, and he would just go right to the front of the rim and ask for the ball.
Yeah, and Jokic would find him in positions to score.
It's a lot easier to do that when you have a spacing big or true spacing big at least.
Right, and plus the thing
High
about
lows.
RJ Barrett is a high usage scorer, right? And it's not even his fault because we don't have very good passers. Like if RJ Barrett was to cut to the rim without the ball and somebody hit him in stride where he could just finish, RJ Barrett could probably average 25 a game. But
That's the thing. RJ's been cutting since college and high school with talented players that can give him the ball.
right,
Like he's actually like even when we had Fizdale trash here, he was
yeah,
the only one that had the, the recognition to just cut.
yeah,
Like he had a timely cut. He knew when to cut or how
yeah.
to cut and what positions to get the ball in the zone or whatever. But because we kind of deviated away from that, you're not going to see that. You're just not going to see that.
No, you can see, and it's the same thing with Randall, but and Brunson. All of their scores come up 90%, and I don't know this to be absolutely true, and so I'm speaking randomly. But if y'all can understand the reason why I say it, just give me some grace when I say it, right? R.J. Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, most of the time when they score, it's off the dribble.
Yeah.
Off their own dribble is how they score most of the time. They
They're never getting the ball in motion going right up to the rim. Never.
right at the rim, right? And it, because I don't know if there is outside of jumping ability. I don't know if there's a difference between R.J. Barrett's game and Josh Smith's game. You remember Josh Smith, the old Hawks, small forward, power forward.
Bully,
Yeah, the
bully, bro.
only that he was. I mean, when it comes to strength and size, all of that, I'm just saying. If you understood, just give me some grace on this. Give me some leeway with it, right? Josh Smith could jump out the gym, but aside from that, him and RJ basically had head down, going to the rim, trying to finish over a crowd. The jumper was hit or miss. When it was hit, not J.R. Smith. I'm sorry, Josh Smith
Jocelyn.
was an all-star. When it was off, he was just a random dude.
Yeah,
Right?
it's. I want to say to another point. If there's like a statistic of like most field goals without a dribble or just one or two dribbles, the Nuggets are probably at the top of the league of that.
Yeah.
Outside of the Warriors, the Warriors do it with like Steph Curry and Clay, of course, just being able to catch and shoot whenever they felt like it.
Yeah.
But in terms of just guys getting one dribble and going right up, or getting one post dribble after getting a seal and actually getting a good entry pass,
Yeah.
and then going right up off a seal,
Right.
they're probably at the top of the league in terms of those types of field goals. And we're at the top of the league in field goals that took 3 to 4 dribbles
Yeah.
to go get it. which is why we're at the bottom of the league in assists.
Because we score off the dribble.
Yeah.
Right. But hey, but you know what? We said we was gonna do like 20 minutes of that, and it was an hour, bro.
Yeah, get a little bit passionate
Yeah,
when
man.
we're frustrated.
Yeah.
One second. Let me put my headset back on. My headset's dying.
Okay. Now, I got you. I got you. So if we talk about who the Knicks signed to two ways, Jalen Martin, the prospect out of the where is it? Overtime Elite. The 19-year-old averaged 14 points a game, 6 rebounds. I'm looking for a player comp for him. I don't see a player comp for him.
Yo, I'm back.
All right. So there's a paragraph. I'm just going to read it really quickly. It says, Jalen finished his first season at OTE, losing in a championship to City Reapers. He averaged 14, 6, and 2. Scored in double figures in 8 games with the season high 27 coming against the Falcons. Martin was named OTE Player of the Week, scoring 27 and pulling down 14 rebounds. He had a season high 3 3-pointers and a 27-point performance. Jalen got second in most improved player voting. He had double-figure rebounds twice. Blah. Okay, all right. Ain't that really here to talk about. So we don't know what the player comp is. Only thing we know for sure is that man is probably super raw.
What's his name again?
Jalen Martin. Jalen with a Y. Martin. Ultimately, what do I think Jalen Martin's going to be? I don't. Nothing.
Well, I'm going by these scouting reports on him. Pros excels in scoring on off-ball motion plays. We're not getting that.
Yeah.
Decent rebounder for his size. Tibbs would love that. Decent defender, solid athlete. Needs to improve on his shooting, needs to improve on his playmaking skills, can struggle to guard quicker players, relatively unknown commodity. Summary, Jalen Martin is an athletic, energetic wing swingman that recently played in Overtime Elite this past season. He played well in the 2023 G League Elite Camp.
Okay.
And he's currently a borderline second round candidate for the 2023 draft. So he's borderline.
Means undrafted. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I got you. Yeah. No, I got you on that. So, yeah.
Looking at his other player comps around the web, there isn't too much about him. Isn't too much about him, Freezie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I forget. I hadn't heard this man name all year, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Not even. I'm not gonna lie to you either. But the Overtime Elite thing is a lot of the competition isn't the best because you're seeing 17-year-olds in there. It's mixed. It's kind of why some people were hesitant about the Thompson twins, even though they have like dominant traits. But it was because the competition was 17 and 18-year-olds, and they were like 20.
Yeah.
It's like a mix. It's like a mixed bag. So,
well, they had late birthday. I mean, they can't help that.
Yeah, they can't help that at all. So.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I mean, because it's not like they were, 2 years out of high school. These dudes are still just 1 year out of high school. So
that like we decided to not hop back in the draft, so now we have to target fringe guys with two-way. this is it's funny. It's funny actually.
Let me I want to ask this just really quickly. Do you think this team with marginal improvement can win an NBA championship?
No.
No, hear me out. Marginal outside improvement, right? Not marginal internal growth, but marginal
Like
outside improvement, like adding,
a free agent,
something,
like a Dante DiVincenzo.
Mike Conley, something.
Nah, nah,
Hmm.
nah. I don't think it's that close.
Okay.
I think we need a little bit more than that. I think, to be absolutely honest, when we look at like our contemporaries or who we went up against, if we're having this particular coach Freezy, we need to have way more individual talent that can, like, basically autonomously do what they need to do to win in spite of him and his rudimentary offense. Because if you're just trying to do it with regular, if you're just trying to do it with what we have or non top five talent, it'll be hard because you're basically forcing guys to do things the hardest way imaginable,
Right.
and that's
Right.
just not fair. It's not
While
fair.
putting them in unfamiliar situations.
Yeah, like the only guys that can consistently thrive in this type of environment at the highest level, like winning Eastern Conference Finals or winning a finals, are
Yeah.
those top five guys. Freezy.
Yeah.
You can't just live off of heavy isolation over and over and over and over and expect to win. To like, I'm saying, like, we went against the Miami Heat, right? There was nothing particularly game changing in terms of their defense. They just knew exactly what we were going to do. We were going to
Yeah.
heavily isolate them. So
Yeah.
they were like, okay, we'll just load up and take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like we're throwing prime Shaq at them.
Right.
We don't have the overt mismatch. We can attack mismatches, but
Right.
we don't have that dominant player. You need the dominant player to to overcome this style of offense. There's nothing that we're running like that is what's the word I'm looking for? That is beneficial to get the fringe players going. Like
Right.
like this call a spade a spade. We watching the Miami Heat, right?
Right.
Gabe Vincent would be playing minutes like Miles McBride on this team, right?
Right.
Because he would be the third guard, to be
Okay.
absolutely honest, on this team. And they were drawing up plays to get him open. They
Right.
were doing misdirections. They were running rub screens with two shooters together to confuse defenses to make them pick their poison and attack miscommunications. Like they even did that against the Nuggets. That's what they did throughout the entire playoffs.
Right.
We don't do none of that. We're like, you know, we're gonna do.
Right.
Stop it.
We're just gonna run it harder,
Like you know exactly what we're about to do.
and
Stop it.
we're just gonna run it harder. Yep.
Which
Yep.
which makes me even more impressed with Brunson because he's not a super athlete. He's just very skilled
Yeah.
in tight windows. Like it's he's very impressive. Like he
Yeah.
was performing offensively like a top five isolation player in the league,
Right.
where there was nothing really they could do. They could stop everyone else, but they couldn't really stop him.
Hey, man. So I gotta stop right here, man. I'm so tired, bro.
You good, man?
Yeah, I gotta stop right here, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just out of gas, man. I'm just out of gas. I need to take like a 17-minute nap.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But let me do this. I want to thank everybody for watching, hanging out with us today. I'm gonna try to do the Knicks morning drive tomorrow or today, later on. Try to do a full show. Maybe we can do 3 or 4 hours of that. We'll see how the schedule permits.
Right.
And tomorrow night we'll see if we can fix the Knicks. See if we can get somebody to do that. If not, we'll maybe, because it's been fun. We did it 3 weeks in a row, man. That's been fun.
Hey man, Freezie, I'm letting you know I'm trying out for that summer league team. I'm gonna make the roster, man. I'll fix the Knicks personally.
They just
On the
don't
court.
have shorts my size, bro. If they had shorts my size, I'd be out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
So show them the footwork, man.
Yeah,
Got post moves.
Post moves, bro.
I heard they call you Big McHale, man.
Yeah, man. You know me. All right, y'all. Hey, thank y'all for watching, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man.
Peace.